Hello and welcome to Tech Hub. I am Kenneth Akan. On the show today, GT Bank is finalizing a change to the new core banking platform. And the United Nations Technology Unit, the International Technology Unit called ITU, lists Nigeria among the Tier 3 countries in Global Cybersecurity Index for 2024. And for our big story today, we'll be discussing the world of software testing and quality assurance in Africa, as we have a young Nigerian lady redefining that industry. Guarantee Trust Bank, GT Bank, is finalizing its core banking platform. That change began sometime in 2023, Q4 thereabouts, and they began switching to Finacle, a software built by Infosys in India. The decision to change to Finacle was finalized in September after some top bank management and tech team staff visited India to broker a direct partnership, sidestepping third-party vendors. GT Bank picked Finacle because it plans to integrate its banking and non-banking subsidiaries on a unified platform. Now, what you should know about Finacle is that Finacle is used in Nigeria already, so this is not a new software or a new solution. Finacle is used by at least 10 banks, including 3 of Nigeria's biggest commercial banks, highlighting Infosys' growing influence in the Nigerian banking system. The ongoing migration began in the fourth quarter of 2023 and is designed to avoid disruption to GT Bank's large retail customer base. Now, another thing you should know is that a change in a bank's core banking system can cause service disruption in the short time. So that change management sometimes can be chaotic. If you recall, some time ago, Sterling Bank customers could not access the bank's application because of a migration issue. They also were moving to a new custom-built core banking application. And last thing you should know is that changing a core banking software is like doing a heart transplant. It has to be delicate, it has to be thoroughly thought out and all that. So we are hoping that the measure of this success will be its impact on the customer service and the seamlessness of the migration process. To our next trending story, the ITU lists Nigeria among Tier 3 countries in Global Cybersecurity Index for 2024. The International Telecommunications Union under the United Nations has listed Nigeria among Tier 3 countries in its Global Cybersecurity Index GCI 2024, which groups countries based on cybersecurity measures they have put in place. The GCI 2024 assesses nations' efforts across 5 pillars, representing countries' level, cybersecurity commitments, legal, technical organization, capacity development, and cooperation. Nigeria's highest score was in legal measures, where the country scored 19.52 out of the 20 marks obtainable. Although not clearly stated, this score may not be unconnected with the enactment of the Cybercrime Act 2015, thereabout. We have a Cybercrime Act. If you don't know that, you should know that already. But it was amended in 2024. So it might not be unconnected that the law has been revamped, and that's why Nigeria is ranked highly right now. According to the ITU, the 195 countries measured are categorized into 5 tiers. Tier 3 and 4 countries are countries that have been expanding digital services and bringing people online, but still have work to do to ensure that cybersecurity becomes part of their meaningful connectivity objectives. Nigeria is rightly positioned in a Tier 3, and we understand that clearly. In the last 5 years, we've seen myriads of millions come into the online space, and our country should also measure up in terms of putting and ensuring cybersecurity objectives are in place. For Tier 1 and Tier 2 countries, on the other hand, these are countries who have demonstrated a strong commitment in all 5 cybersecurity pillars, while the Tier 5 countries are those lagging in all 5 pillars of the GCI. We're glad that Nigeria has made some move, and we're hoping that these moves make us gain some respect in the League of Nations. We used to be known for cyber crimes, but with the recent developments, we're hoping that this changed. When we come back, we'll be discussing the world of software testing and the export of software testers from Nigeria to the world. looking at the story of a young Nigerian lady redefining that industry across Africa. Our guest is a prominent figure in the tech industry, particularly known for her contribution to software testing and quality assurance across Africa. She recently launched the first ever software testing book out of Africa. We're glad the Nigerian wrote this one. Through her Testify Academy, she has trained over 5,000 young people in software testing, helping them switch to tech careers. She has featured in Forbes and invited to speak in major tech events around the world, including the London Tech Show. She founded Testify Limited, a software testing consultancy that has made significant strides in the industry. Ibironke Yekini, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us on Tech Hub. My first question is, how does one go from working in a factory to being among the top 9 women in tech in Nigeria? Talk to us about your journey.
All right, thank you so much for having me. I worked as a customer representative in a factory, and that was when I still did not understand what tech was all about, even though I had studied my undergraduate in computer science. Then I went ahead to do my NYSC, and in the course of NYSC, I would say CDS did me well. I started hearing about tech. I knew I did computer science, but I just didn't know there was more to that. And I remember working in an IT firm where the CEO then had asked that, what can I do? I mean, typical undergraduate, I was like, I could type, I could use Excel, but we were like, okay, I mean, skill set, what can you do? And that's where the whole hunting started. Started making research about the different, skill set I could do, and then I found tech to be something I could do. Then I went through different skill set. I learned about from web development to product management to Scrum Master to UI UX. I worked on those fields, and I had little short experiences on each of them before I found software testing. And like they say, the rest is an history.
The rest, they say, is history, but this history is still being written. So my question is, why software testing? You could have done products.
Yeah.
You could have done marketing. You could have done sales, tech sales, but why software testing?
I love the diverse opportunity in testing. I love the fact that I don't need to be stuck doing one particular thing throughout and forever. I did product management, and I worked with on a project for Osun State government. And yes, though I enjoyed it, but I see some needed skill set or needed focus on just one field that does not really match with what I would want to do. I went into web development. I used PHP and all those other programming languages, but I knew that if I want to do this on a long term, talking about building a career, not just finding a job, then I knew I didn't want to do that. But software testing, on the other hand, gives room for different divert. You can go from hardware testing to software testing. And even in software testing, there are so many fields you can dive into. And talking about the opportunities in it is massive. I can go from working with a software development company to working with AI to working with blockchain. It just, to every new emerging technology, there is just a massive need for me in any industry. And that was when I found where I really wanted to be. Yes, software testing as a field.
So now, what really is software testing?
Okay, if I were to use the name verbatim, software testing, it simply is a process of you evaluating an application and ensuring that it meets the user's requirements. So if I want to bring it to a layman language today, everybody cooks and everybody tastes the food that we cook. And even if you go and buy something in the market or probably buy a clothes, you definitely want to check out to see that it fits in. And that is what software testing does. It's not just about the check-in, it's about the quality assurance that goes into building an application, ensuring that not only can your user see the products or is it beating the competitors in the marketplace, but it is satisfying their need, and they can give you 5-star without you even asking. So yes, software testing is like the police to your applications, and you're ensuring that it meets standard quality and you are safe.
So what are the aspects of software testing?
Okay, talking about the different areas of testing, from the entire process of testing, from the understanding of the business to doing the documentation, executing it, delivering the project, even monitoring the user usage of it. There are other fields in tech that you can also go into as regards to software testing. So if you are tired today of doing function, so we have 2 different types of testing category. We have the functional testing and the non-functional testing. And when you talk about functional testing, it's simply about how does the application function. Can I sign up? Can I sign in? Can I make my transfer without each? Can my money get transferred immediately without getting bounced back or missing? Am I sure that my money is safe and all of that? So that is really functional, how it really works. While when we talk about the non-functional, you're talking about the security of the application, you're talking about the performance of the application, the load it can carry. So see it as a house. Can the door and the windows be open and closed? That is functionality. Now, if the rain comes in storm, can it really stand? That is non-functional testing. So these are the different types of testing, and you can do them in different ways. It could be manually tested, and it can be done with automation. Yeah.
This excites me. This excites me. Now, your story is an inspiring one. You have trained over 5,000 young people in software testing, and some have now been exported abroad.
Yes.
That's really exciting, and that got you the recognition as one of the top 9 women in tech in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell us success stories from people who have come into software testing without any technical skills whatsoever, and today are making a living for themselves and their families.
Amazing. I have 2 stories to tell, very short. The first one that really still stuck with me till today is a guy. When I started with the first cohort in September 2019 was when the first cohort started. It's a 3-month program, so we run it from September to December. What I did then, I just a random who is interested to learn software testing, and I had over 2,000 signups. Then I had to give them thorough tests to sieve out those that are really interested in building a career. I was able to pull out altogether 300 people, and part of those who eventually graduated was a guy called Aziz. He was actually based in UAE. When he saw the flyer of the application on a WhatsApp group that posted it, I didn't know anything about him until I got a call sometimes in January 2020. I'd seen more like 64 missed calls from this Dubai number that I did not know. And in my head, I'm sure this is not another scammer. But I got a voice note from him, and I listened to him saying that once you can see this voice note, call me back immediately. So I called him back. Long story short, he cried for a long time, prayed for me for over 30 minutes, and started giving me a story of how he was working as a security gate man there in UAE when he saw this flyer on the group. And he just okay, since it's just online, he could apply. He applied. He finished the program. He was part of people that graduated, and on his way going on one of those days that he has finished the program, he saw where they put it out there that they needed software engineers. And considering the mentorship that is embedded into the program, I had mentioned to them that if there's anywhere a developer is working, a tester is needed there. If there's any industry at all, even in the medical line, a tester is needed there. So if you see anywhere that they need a software engineer, go there and show them what you can do. So he had seen it that he needed software.
Do you have an idea how old Aziz is?
Aziz was 36 as of 2020.
And had no technical skill at that time.
He graduated in mass communication.
Whoa, interesting.
Yeah, and he did HND in Nigeria before he went to UAE.
Interesting.
So that was the background he had before he traveled out. So he had no idea about tech. The reason why I was even able to use this computer is because he works in the security department. I mean, not cybersecurity, the security. So they had computers that they on, off. That was the experience he had about computing.
And this was just a 3-month program?
This was just a 3-month program.
And it was strictly online?
And it was strictly online. So he went to this place that the people were applying for jobs. After the long queue, he was able to go in, spoke with the interviewer. The interviewer asked him, one of the questions that made them give me, I eventually trained close to 32 members from that same organization to becoming a tester. The interviewer asked, are you sure this was a 3-month program? This was all you did. Now, this person must have really done a magic on you. Long story short, he got a senior level 2 software test engineering role at that company. And to give you context, that is
3 months online program.
Yes, and that is even the list of testimonies I've had. And that is, to give you a bit of context, that is somebody moving from a 30,000K salary to a 600K salary as of then. So yes, that was the story. And the second one that I would say stuck with me was for Vera. Vera is a Canadian who had been working in the care job since when she transitioned to Canada, and she has been looking for a job at every means possible. Of course, she did not have the skill when she was going. She had gone there as a diploma student, and yeah, she did the program as well. And even though she graduated as a lawyer, before she left Nigeria. She finished from OAU. She was a lawyer before she moved to Canada. And today she currently works with a very good company as a senior software test engineer.
All these are from 3 months programs. A lawyer has...
It has always been 3 months.
Gone through a 3 month online program.
Yes.
A security guard, went through the same 3 months online program, and they both work as senior software testers, earning very good income.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned 2 aspects of software testing, the manual aspect and the automation.
Yeah.
So where do you think one should start from? We are in an era of automation. Shouldn't everyone just go into automation immediately?
If you don't know what you are testing for, you can't automate it. So the best way to start is to really understand how to test an application, understand what the product is about, because for every organization or every industry you walk into, the solution is different. So if you don't really understand testing, you can't automate it. And the essence of automation is not really to do the testing, it's to reduce the time it takes you to perform repeated actions. So automation is just an aspect to reduce what you do repeatedly and make it automated, just like you had mentioned, but it does not cover testing. Testing is testing. It's just like a car. You are driving a car. There's manual car, there's automatic car, but if you don't know how to drive, you don't know how to drive.
Now, there's this sentiment that you do not need to have any technical skills whatsoever to learn software testing. Is that a honest statement?
I wouldn't say, I mean, when I started, I actually drive people like, okay, you don't need to have, a BSc in computer science or any IT skill set or graduation, like educational background in tech before you start. Yes, that is still a true statement. But you would need to have basic computing skill set, like how to manage a computer. How do you put it on? How do you put it off? How do you use some basic MS Word, Excel sheet? These are the basic computing skill set that you actually need. But do you need a tech educational background to start a career in tech or software testing as a whole? No. But do you need some basic computing skill set to actually be able to operate with a computer and learn software testing? Yes, you do.
Ibironke Yekini, it's a delight having this conversation with you. I just have one last question before I let you go. What excites you about the future of software testing in Nigeria and Africa? We're seeing a lot of people coming into the space. Do you think it's going to be oversaturated? What is the future looking like in that industry?
Talking about saturation, as of now in Nigeria, I don't think we have enough, right? Because we see software testing, people like me would say it as simple as it could be. So everybody could think that, yes, this is what software testing is all about. So you get to see people, just like in every field, you get to see different people claim that they are a software tester, but they are not really solid or sound or skilled at what they do. And if you would check today, barely would you find up to 50 software testers who have over 10 years experience still working in Nigeria company. Most of them are working for international company, even though they are in Nigeria, right? So saturation is still a long shot because we don't even have enough hands to start with as of today. But what really makes me happy about software testing is that I love the fact that there is more awareness. We have seen a lot of crises, a lot of product breakdown, a lot of security issues. We have seen a lot of problems with applications. So companies are gradually understanding that, okay, there is a phase we need to embrace before we start shooting the product to the market, and that is software testing. So I'm loving the fact that more companies, more founders, more individuals are embracing software testing. But what I foresee in fairly few years to come is, one is the regulation of this industry, right? We still don't have the regulation here, which is something myself and a group of people are working towards to ensure that products are actually being tested and we are saving people as much cost and debt as possible. There are loads of applications on your phone right now that you do not even use in the last 6 months. It's not because they were built with years, but you are not using them because it was not well tested. That's the honest truth. So that is something that really interests me. I love the fact that more people are embracing it, and I love the fact that it's becoming a global recognizing career.